Hello, and welcome to another special Franchise Hockey Manager 4 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager. With me, as always, and not pictured on your screen, is FHM Producer Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with the Toronto Maple Leafs 1978-79 season. We are de-ballardizing the Leafs.
Yeah,
How do you like that?
That's a good way of putting it. Trying to keep the team together. We more or less, I think we're 1 or 2 points ahead of where they finished in real life this year, but tailed off a little towards the end of the middle of the season, late season, but made some couple of small trades at the trading deadline, turned things around, and we finished third in the Adams, which gets us into the first round against Boston. Now the thing with the first round I think this was the last year they did it. This is actually only a 3-game series, so this could be over really quick. This wasn't a lot of fun to watch as a fan, really. I remember the Canucks going out in 2 against Philadelphia one year, but I mean, anything can happen in a series that short. Yeah, and although we did I think we gave Montreal a pretty good run for their money. I think it was 75 in the same format, so almost worked out for us there. But okay, we've got this short series against Boston, and this is what the Bruins are looking like this year. Fairly close to what they did in real life. This is a post-Esposito War Bruins, so you're seeing guys like Middleton, Terry O'Reilly, Peter McNabb, Jean Rattel. They got Milbury as the captain. And Park. They don't have Ray Bourque yet, thankfully, so makes it a little easier on us. So the D is a little bit thin once you get past Brad Park. And the goaltending, Jerry Cheevers had retired. Did he retire or did they let him go in this? Can't remember which year Cheevers did that, but apparently they are without him in any case. Looks like they picked up Wayne Thomas, former Ranger and Leaf, as a backup, but Gilles Gilbert has been starting for them, although actually it looks like Thomas is a little better, so we may have a chance with what they've got in goal. Here's how our lineup finished scoring-wise. Not that many surprises. The Sittler line on top. Good offensive contribution from the D. Salming and Turnbull. And then you can see Peter Lee, who we picked up partway through the year, did pretty well for us despite only being 1.5 stars. And Dan Maloney, Walt McKechnie, solid second line. And we've got reasonable depth all the way through, so if we can maybe take advantage of the bottom couple of lines on Boston and maybe possibly the shaky goaltending, because the other nice thing we've got, Mike Palmateer, we managed him to get his heat rating up to 4 before the start of the playoffs. So that may give us the edge here, but we need to use every advantage we've got, because this is on such a short series. I'm just changing up.
So we want to look at where the goalie's making saves.
Yeah, we can have a look.
Weaknesses.
Actually, I don't even know who's. We probably wait for after game 1 because I'm not even sure who they're going to start. Because Gilbert's been the starter, but Thomas looks like he's a little better.
Okay.
Power play looks about right. Penalty killing likewise. Okay, so I think we're going to play this out. If we crash and burn here, we'll just rush to the end of the season, because the preseason, it's going to be fairly interesting postseason, because the WHA merger is happening this year, and the draft for that will be going on, so we'll probably wind up losing some guys. But let's get game 1 going.
Well, we're not going to lose anybody that bad, though.
Hopefully. And just having a quick look at their lines. Yeah, pretty tough, so I think we've got tactical advantages all over the place, so I'm not going to have to change up too much here. And they're going to go with Wayne Thomas in goal to start off, so And we've got Palmateers, so I think we've got the advantage here. Let's see what we do with it. And this first game will be in Boston. I'll get the games 1 and 3, and game 2 only in Toronto. And shot total fairly even. They had a penalty early on, but we didn't do anything with it. Okay, looks like they're outplaying us a bit. And Palmateer lets one in. That's not a good start. Yeah, not thrilled with this first period. Outshot 15-5.
Rough start.
Our power play maybe needs a little work. I don't really need to change anything on the lines. Let's see. Does Thomas have a particular weakness? Or actually...
Hi, Gudu to Ratcast. Gudu and Ratcast in the chat as well. Coming up to watch.
Couple of small changes to the power play, but let's see if we bounce back in a second. So we weren't even giving a whole lot of shots on Thomas, so not much a point in targeting differently. And Peter McNabb makes it 2-0 for the Bruins. So this is not going well. Taking a lot of penalties too. No room here for that. 25-9. Yeah, we're just... Damn. What am I... I have to up the risk-taking and tempo a bit. And do I want to change... What do our line matchups look like? Gonna juggle that slightly. It's still not much in the way of offense. And Wayne Cashman makes it 3-0, so that's probably going to be pretty much it for game 1. Although, of course, now, yeah, we had a 2-man advantage, so we got a few shots. Well, at least we broke the shutout, so hopefully Thomas won't get hot. And they get one right back, 4-1.
A big difference. In my sim, we won 8-3, so...
Yeah, 36-19 outshot 9. It's not good, and Thomas got hot regardless. Great. Okay, well, we've got one game here to deal with, so I'm going to have to make some changes. I'm going to swap some guys out of the lineup, I think. So, I'm going to go with quite a few lineup changes. 3 guys in, 3 guys out, and one mainly on the bottom lines. Okay, I think that'll be the game 2 lineup. At least there weren't any injuries.
Yep. That's always important.
Now we got the awards nominees. Let's take a quick look through that. Salming nominated for the Lindsay Award. Sittler for the Messier Leadership Awards. We got a couple of our guys in there. Nothing for GM of the Year, so
Not unexpected.
Yep, and likewise for the Adams, no Coach of the Year for us either. And Salming's actually nominated for the Hart Trophy. Wow. So he had a pretty good season, 72 points. So why aren't we doing any better in this series? Okay, game 2 and possibly the end of the season. This would be disappointing to go out like that. Same goalies. And I'm not going to do the shot targeting because we need to get more shots on him and not be so concerned about where they're going. And Ian Turnbull opens it up for us, 1-0 on the first shot of the game. And yeah, we're shooting a little up 5-0 on shots already, so it looks like juggling the lineup worked. And Lanny McDonald makes it 2-0. Oh, they were evening up to us in shots there. And Ron Ellis, 3. Are they going to leave Thomas in? Are we going to get another one here? Dave Burrows, 4-0. Okay, so I'd call this a pretty solid bounce-back game.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Only 11-7 in shots at the end of the first, but we're up 4-0. So are they going to... Yeah, they leave Thomas in for the second. And Terry O'Reilly gets one for the Bruins, but still a comfortable lead here. And we're continuing to dominate on shots, up 24-13 now, halfway through the second. Just watching the game ratings, everybody pro Trevor Johansson, who we just dropped in, not having a great game. May want to think about swapping him back out for Hutchinson in game 2. And the second, 31-16 on shots and 4-1 lead. Yeah, Johansson's just not picking it up at all. Didn't take that many penalties in swim. Now, as soon as I say that, we're taking more.
Yeah, well, that seems to happen, doesn't it?
But Salming makes it 5-1, so that should be the end of that. Hopefully we'll cool Thomas off a little bit. Although Palmentier lets in a late one to make it 5-2, that's not going to matter. And 5-2 for game 2. Thomas remains a little bit hot, but Palmentier still got his 4 stars. Dave Burrows' first star of the game with a goal and an assist.
Excellent.
Be interesting to see who Boston comes back with in goal in game 3. Okay, we are at game 3. Let's see how the other series are going. Blues and Rockies are tied at 1. KLA beats Pittsburgh 2 straight. Philadelphia and Atlanta tied at 1. Okay, I said I was going to have to... That wasn't a great game for Johansson, so I will throw Hutchison back in, but I will leave the 2 forward changes I made. And I don't think... Oh, for some reason it's not using Butler on the penalty killing line, so it's not a good idea. Okay. Game 3 in Boston, and they come back with Thomas one more time.
I mean, that's not really surprising.
Yeah, they've gone with him for the first 2, but Gilbert was a starter through most of the year. I guess he tailed off at the end, and he wasn't that. And are we getting something here? Ian Turnbull, I think you had the first one last game too, makes it 1-0 for us. And we've got a little bit of a shot advantage halfway through the first. That's a good sign. So we had a lot of trouble getting offensive chances in the first game in Boston. And 10-6 on shots at the end of the first and a 1-0 lead. So far, so good. Salming having a pretty good game for us. Nobody having a particularly bad game that I can see. And we got another one coming here. Peter Lee makes it 2-0. But the Bruins bounce right back. Terry O'Reilly makes it 2-1. So that's where we are halfway through the first period. They're creeping up on shots here. I don't really like that. It's even on shots. 18 or... Okay, we went back up with a couple minutes to go, but... And Jimmy Jones gets a surprise goal. Fourth liner. We dropped in for game 2. Okay. 3-1 lead. Going into the third period. Can we do this? And the Bruins take a penalty right off the start, and Sittler makes it 4-1. So we may be able to do this. And Brad Park cuts it 4-2. Still not too worried yet. Although we're taking, I think, 3 or 4 penalties again. Come on, guys. Discipline. And John Wensick makes it 4-3.
Radcast is just hoping Sittler doesn't get 10 points in a game.
Yeah. That was against Boston, too. He's right. Dave Reese isn't in goal tonight, though. But I've really got to slow this down in the last 2 minutes because they've cut it to a 1-goal lead. Do not blow this. Do not blow this. Do not blow this. And Burrows with the empty net shorthanded goal with about 3 seconds left ends it. 5-3 Leafs. And we are out of round 1, or round .5, as it should probably be referred to. Not really a full series. Former Leafs Jack Valaquette with a big game as Colorado wins the first playoff series ever. They didn't actually win one in real life, so doing a little bit better here. And we've got the Sabres in round 2. Colorado's got Montreal, so they're going to have some problems there. Flyers in Chicago is the other series. Got to like Philadelphia there. And Kings and Islanders. So Marcel Dion, and I don't think it was 79. I think it was 79-80 that they had the big line with Dion and Taylor and Simmer. So they're not quite that yet, I don't think. Oh no, Simmer's in the lineup. Oh, and they do have Taylor too. So they do have the Triple Crown line at this point, and they've still got Butch Goring, which is interesting. They haven't traded them to the Islanders. Now they're playing the Islanders. It'll be a fun series to watch. Okay. But we've got to worry about Buffalo. So what do they got? Oh, they picked up Glenn Resch in goal, although it looks like he's only backing up. Wow, Don Edwards had a huge year, 1.78 goals against average, which is crazy for 1979. And Buffalo had that great D then. They're 5-6 guys deep. Question in the chat from Radcast: is there a way to keep a team in the league and keep team going in the game after they left the league? Like, I guess you're asking like the Cleveland Barons or something after they fold. Not right now. It's definitely something I'd like to add at some points. Allow you to do fictional structures and historical. And yeah, Buffalo is just looking tough actually. Jacques Richard, who was kind of a washout in the real NHL, but he had a big year after Quebec picked him up after the WHA merged. But he's turned it around already in this game. So that's an extra offensive guy for Buffalo. And actually looks like Rick Martin. Oh, Rick Martin's been hurt for a bunch of the year. Wow, they've got like 3 really good scoring lines there. Buffalo's just got ridiculous depth. These guys are going to be tough, really tough. I'm going to go with, I guess, that lineup that won the last game. Didn't see how hot their goalie is, so we'll find out. Oh, Graydon Edwards is really hot too. He's coming off a great year, and hopefully he comes off the layoff a little bit and has trouble. I'm just going to run with it, and this is going to be, I believe this is a best of 7 series now. I think they go to 7 after the first round. Craig Ramsey gets an early goal on the first shot of the game. Oh, come on, he gets another one. Palmateer lets in the first 2 shots of the game. Not helping here, Mike. And we haven't even got a shot yet halfway through the first period. And Don lose 3-0. We're outshot 10-0. Good God, guys. 13-0. Don lose 4-0. And we take a 2-man. Okay, this has to be the worst period I've ever seen. 5-0. We're outshot 20-1. There we go. We finally got 1 shot before the end of the period.
Hooray!
What a train wreck.
Yeah, it's almost like we're playing as the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. And the Canucks were actually pretty awful in this one, although I think they turned the season around if I remember right. Oh, what the? Oh, I didn't even look. For some reason, the AI put Jim Rutherford in goal for this. Oh no, they pulled. No, it didn't. It pulled Palmateer after the 5th goal. It's not insane. Jacques Richard, 6-0 for the Sabres. We're getting a couple of shots here, but it doesn't really matter at this point. This is done. 7-0. Not even the end of the second yet. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, tactically they've got us. Oh, go. That's completely outmatched. I gotta redo the strategy completely on this, I think. 8-0, Danny Gear. This is just a total write-off. And Sittler breaks a shutout at least. So we got that going for us. Don't even really want to look at the stats in that one. But we will anyhow.
And Gare were Bruins killers.
Dave Ferris somehow had a great game out in the middle of that. Jimmy Jones, terrible. Joel Quenneville, terrible. Tiger Williams, 37. Wow. It's actually only looking like a couple of lines had the complete breakdown. That's a problem, though. Their depth is so crazy that it's hard to match up against them. What do I do here? Gonna do what we did at the after that game 1 in Boston, and some heavy-duty changes. 3 guys in, 3 guys out again. Gonna have to go back with Palmateer, I think, in goal. Don't really have much of an option there. Let's see if Johansson does, or should I take Quenneville out? He had the worst game, so I'm going to replace Quenneville with Johansson.
Kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah. Try Williams on the first line. See if that... Okay, what does D look like? I think we can leave that alone. Power plays are mostly fine. Butler up to the second line. Okay, game 2. See if I can get something going against those scary tactical scores that they had.
We might just be badly outmatched here.
It's looking like it, but... Okay, Edwards against Palmateer again. Palmateer's save percentage down to 868 after that mess. But here we go with game 2. And we did get the first shot this time, so at least we won't be shut out through. And there we go. Oh no, Rick Martin. And Rick Martin scores in the first 2 shots again for the Sabres.
Of course.
Same thing as that as last time. I mean, we were having enough trouble getting shots. And Palmateer gives up Martin natural hat trick halfway through the first period. So we finally get some offense going, and our goalie lets us down. Palmateer staying in the game, and Don Luce makes it 4-0. We're just getting steamrolled here. And Jim Rutherford is in for Palmateer. What do you do? Do we even start Palmateer in Game 3 after that? 2 terrible starts?
I don't know if it's him so much as just...
I mean, he's the one letting him in this time. Walt McKechnie makes it 4-1 at least. I mean, we're only getting outshot 16-11. Again, it's hard to blame the D when he lets in the first 2 shots of the game, both games. And we're actually almost even with him on shots now. And we're ahead of him now. And Sittler makes it 4-2, so we're within 2 goals. 10 minutes left in the third. I'm just going to bump up the risk-taking and tempo to see if maybe we can get back in this. Chat question, is natural hat trick 3 goals in the same period or just in a row? 3 interrupted by either team. They have to be all from the same team at once. Doesn't matter if they're in the same period. But Buffalo gets one. We actually got within 1. They made it 5-3. And Ramsey makes it 6-3 with the empty net goal. So we lose 6-3 Game 2. Even though the shots are 27-27, Palmateer gets even less hot. Paul Edwards stays hot. Was there any particular... Well, Johansson had a terrible game after we put him in. So I think Quenneville can go back. The forwards actually did half decently. What's going on in the other series? Yeah, these are best of 7. So we've still got a chance to come back. Montreal are rolling over. Colorado, not unexpected. Flyers and the Hawks tied. Kings and the Islanders tied.
I think it's going to take a small miracle for us to get good enough to survive this.
I think I'll leave it like that, just swapping Quenneville in for Johansson. At least we're back in Toronto now for the next game. So let's see, maybe we can do better at home. Palmateer in goal. Just try to stop the first one this time, okay? How about that? And gets plenty of chances. Buffalo gets... It takes them 6 shots before they get the first one this time. But we don't have a single shot yet. Now there we go. We finally got one. Sittler ties it up. So we're a little behind on shots halfway through the first, but at least the game's tied. We're not out of it 5 minutes into the game. Getting outshot pretty badly. 18-7 at the end of the first. Trying to juggle some of the tactics around a little bit. Not a whole lot. Okay, a little better in the second period, hopefully. And Walt McKechnie makes it 2-1 for the Leafs. Hard to tell who's getting... Oh, yeah, Buffalo ties it up. We're both blue on white, so... And Korab makes it 3-2, so we're down by 1 goal and still no shots. Only 8 shots midway through the second period. And they're really pouring it on now. We had a penalty. They're just running up shots like crazy here. They even had a penalty at the end of that, and we didn't do anything. We're going to have to... up the tempo and the risk-taking. We may get really killed on shots because of that. Doesn't help that we're taking a penalty early in the third. Still not getting any shots. Oh, there we got a couple.
Just
10 minutes left.
Maybe it's just.
But yeah,
just don't know we can do it.
These guys are just too good for us. Oh, we tied it up. Even though we're getting outshot horribly. Okay, going into overtime, and Buffalo's got a penalty to start it off with. Going to drop the risk-taking down a little bit. I'm going to slow the tempo down a little in overtime. Let's see what happens. Wow, we took a 5-on-3 there. That's not good. And Rick Martin makes it 4-3 for the Sabres. So we are down 3-0. On the verge of a sweep. Palmateer had a great game at least. 53 saves. Nobody too terrible game ratings wise, so I think we can go back to this lineup for the next one. But I just don't know that we're going to be able to do it against these guys. So we clearly need a whole lot more depth than we've actually got. Yeah, see, there's just such a tough matchup. I mean, they've got 3 line. Their third line could easily be better than our second line. And then they got
CSI 3-1-2.
Yeah. And the D, solid all the way down. They haven't traded away Jerry Korab like that. I don't know if they did this season or the next season in real life, but they've got him still. Schoenfeld, Height, Lee Fogelman, Larry Playfair. And yeah, as long as Rick Martin's still healthy, wow, there's just not much we can do against him. Just hope we get lucky here. That's about all we can do. It'd be a huge miracle if we came back and won this at this point, but I'd at least like to steal a game. And taking stupid penalties early, of course. At least we got the first save this time. Not much offense in this one. And Rick Martin, who's absolutely killing us this series, scores for the Sabres.
Of course.
And Palmateer lets in another one, so 2-0 towards the end of the first. Again, what the heck, I'm just going to go crazy here and go high risk the rest of the game and maybe see at least we can get some offense. We just haven't done anything offensively against them. Even that's not working. And Bill Stewart, the number 6 defenseman, gets one for them. That's how bad it's going. So this will be the end of our season. Rene Robert makes it 4-0, so yeah, they're burying us. Danny Gear, 5-0. So yeah, we're going to have to think about changes in the off-season, particularly depth-wise in the second and third line. I think our D is fairly young, so it's going to come along. I think we've got a couple of years before Turnbull starts to head downhill. Salming will be good for a while. 6-0. We don't get a shutout here at least. Come on. I mean, it's simply... You want to make trades, but that's why the real team fell apart, because all of the bad trades that Ballard and his GMs did. Peter Lee breaks the shutout, so we're going to lose 6-1. And that's the end of it. 6-1. That's our season. How did Buffalo finish in the standings? Yeah, 3rd place overall behind the Islanders and Canadiens. So let's see what's going on the rest of the series. Montreal, no surprise, sweeps Colorado. Flyers over the Hawks in 6, and the Islanders over the Kings in 5. So actually a pretty good series at the end, Buffalo, Montreal, and Islanders in Philadelphia. I don't think there's anything we need to attend to on our team. Contracts, do we have anybody? No, everybody is signed for at least 2 years, so we've got literally nobody to worry about in the off season. So we should only be getting better, right?
Sure.
No, development report. I think it was after this season that the Leafs let Palmateer go to Washington, which was a mistake. Although he didn't do a whole lot for the Capitals. I think he hurt his back fairly early in that run with them, but we'll keep him around. Oh, Jet legend Pierre Hamel improves in a couple of categories. Wonder if we're going to lose him in the draft like the Leafs actually did. And
Jet legend.
And we can choose a Hall of Fame nominee. A whole bunch of top guys here. Oh, Jean Beliveau seems like the obvious one. Oh, I was looking at the wrong ballot. Those guys were already on the ballot. Let's see a shorter one of Doug Harvey. I think will be the guy we take. See where the vote is. And Buffalo actually, yeah, that's how good they are. They're up 3-1 over Montreal in the semifinal, and the Islanders up 3-1 over the Flyers in the other one. So maybe the Islanders get a year's start on their. Oh boy. Bobby Orr apparently hurt off the ice. Wasn't his knee though, concussion. And his knee actually is. I gotta look at the ratings in the database. Have I got knockout Orr's knees rated badly for injuries? But he's gonna miss. Yeah, I mean it's a good time to do it right at the end of the year, but he's gonna be gone. This is May. Like next February before he's back, maybe. And it's an Islander. Oh, Montreal bounced back and beat Buffalo in the semifinals. So we got an Islanders-Canadiens series, which we never actually got in real life. There wasn't any direct transition between the two dynasty teams. But here we are going to get that. And tied 2-2 after 4 games. Montreal up 3-2 after Game 6. And Montreal pulls it off 2-1 on Long Island. So that they stick with history. The 79 Cup goes to them. And it'll be interesting to see if the Islanders can pick up where they actually did in real life and win it next year. No, wait, am I wrong? Did the Islanders get the Cup this year?
78, 79. No, the Islanders didn't win until the 80s.
Yeah, 79, the other got going. Wait, I thought. No, you're right. I am 1 year off. Okay, so.
I don't know many things, but I know that.
That is the end of the regular season. Have a quick look around the league, and we'll have to see what happened in the WHA, the final WHA season. But just going to see how the scorers wound up. Trottier led the league in scoring.
All right. Montreal beat the Rangers.
That's right.
4-1.
Yeah, Shiro took the Rangers to the finals. What am I? Oh, I was looking for the WHA. Nordiques were the regular season champions, but they haven't finished yet. Looks like New England beat Winnipeg in 5 in the other series. Quebec beat Birmingham in 4 in the first round. Did we win any individual awards? Milbury, Gainey, absolutely none of them. Shut. Dryden wins the Vezina. I wonder if he's going to retire after this like he actually did. Probably not. So he did retire a little early in real life.
Yeah, I got a feeling he'll probably stick around for a little bit.
It's weird. Is the WHA not starting its final? Is there a glitch there?
No, they played later, didn't they?
No, they stopped playing on May 10th. That's weird. Ah, great. We got a bug in there? Yeah, it wouldn't show up. Normally that would cause issues later in the game if they weren't finishing the season, but gonna have to have a look at that and see what's gone wrong there. But because it's not finishing that last season, and then the league goes dead, it's not noticeable. It won't cause any trouble, but yeah, it's not good. And Andre DuPont, the Flyers injured in a car crash in the offseason. I don't think we don't need to do anything roster-wise. Any free agents floating around that we should...
Oh, there'll be some guys when it opens on July 1st.
And there we go, season summary. Well, that's my score. No negative categories, a couple positive ones, so I got a 20 for this season. And I can improve 4 of my ratings.
Gudu says the playoff final result is hidden behind the black box, Jeff, on the playoff tree screen.
Oh, let me look at that. Oh, it's going to be... Oh, no, it's still June 30th. Oh, yeah, so it is. Look at that. It's super faint. What the heck? So it's just a little graphical glitch. Whalers won in 4 games. Swept the Nordiques for the last WHA championship. And if I'm remembering right, we looked at the stats already, and Gretzky was injured for part of the year, so didn't do that much. Yeah, finished a little bit back, 81 points in 60 games, which is more or less on track with what he did in real WHA. I think we're done here, though, so switch over to the next season. And we've got an expansion draft to deal with.
Free agency first, Jeff. Free agency first.
Just a lot of broadcast news. Gordie Howe retired instead of playing. Shaka and Stan Mikita retires as well. So Gordie Howe does not play that last season. Although it's interesting to see in the news item it was Detroit retiring Howe's number 9, so that's working properly. We do have to submit protected lists today. Free agent lists. We've got some guys sneaking through because of the way those guys actually went into the real NHL draft, so...
Time to load up, Jeff.
Not sure what's going to happen. Okay, I'll let us take one of these guys. And...
Michel Goulet, obviously.
It's not entirely realistic. Yeah, I think we'll try to get Goulet. Oh wait, this Birmingham's. These are the. Okay, no, technically these are free agents off the teams that expired. They should have gone back into the draft, which is what the real draft did. But we can't exactly do that because of the way the draft eligibility works in the game. That's why it's showing up like this. That's right. Anybody else interested?
I would also say you should put a contracted Joe Mullen as well.
Yeah, only 1 star. Okay, I'm gonna go for Goulet. And I'm gonna have to... he's gonna be expensive.
They all are.
I went a little higher than what he was asking for, on the assumption that other teams are going to be trying for him too. And we'll take a shot at Mullen.
Say future Winnipeg draft pick Doug Smale is on that list too, a little further down. And a guy I know you love for goaltending depth is Bob Janasek.
All half stars once you get pretty far down, though.
I didn't say, yeah. I was trying to see if there's another defenseman we could target. I wouldn't mind going after Rob Ramage. No, I know you're self-imposing.
He's actually hurt in this one too.
He's hurt, yeah, but he's only out 2 to 3 more weeks.
There's Pekka Radicalio, who's a pretty good offensive defenseman in Calgary. Dave Forche, career minor leaguer, didn't really go anywhere. Gaston Gingras was he couldn't play defensive at all, but a fun offensive guy in Montreal to watch for a few years. I'll make him a deal, and so we could use a little variety on the 6th, 7th defenseman. Okay, but we got to deal with our protected list now. 2 goalies and 15 skaters, so Palmatier, no question.
I think you should not protect Sittler. Let him go.
That seems like a bad idea.
Sittler, McDonald, let him go.
Yeah. Let's see. Hamel is younger than Rutherford, but he's never going to be better than him, it looks like, so I might as well put Rutherford as a second pick, and I'm guessing we may lose Hamel in the like the real Leafs did. Okay, first 5-man unit, Sittler. I'll do the Turnbull, that's another one, definite. And Burrows, okay, 3 defensemen to start with. I'll probably add more. And pretty much the first 2 lines, McKechnie and Sittler at center. Maloney and Williams on the left wing. And I think we're probably going to come back and add a third guy there. Lanny McDonald. Peter Lee's only 1.5 stars, but he played really well for us at the last half of the season, so Butler's too small. I'm going to protect Leanne Butler. Need Butler as a checking forward. 5 players left. Another left wing, I think. John Anderson, 2.5 star potential. He'll get a lot better. Dave Farish, who we picked up in a trade. So that's what, 4 defensemen? May want to do 1 more defenseman. Quenneville isn't eligible for this because I think because of the number of games he played. I think we played Anderson a little too much. That's why he wound up eligible, and the other rookie, Quenneville, isn't. Pat Boutet, we can move him to center if we needed to. Need to protect 2 more now. Jones, Stamler, Johansson, Hutchison. Gonna do Trevor Johansson over Hutchison. And I've only got 2 centers, so I'm gonna make Jimmy Jones the last pick. I think we're probably gonna lose Hutchison for sure. Maybe Stamler and Hamel.
Well, we'll see as it goes, and deal with it as we can.
Okay. And just saving, and let's see what happens in the expansion draft. And we did sign Goulet. That's good news. Give him number 8. And now the expansion draft. I'll just run through this super quickly. There was not a lot of talent you can see available to the teams in this draft. This wasn't like the Vegas draft this year. Yeah, 2 stars is the high end for ability and wow potential too. So. And let's see, what did we wind up losing?
Both shifts in the chat says I played OOTP but just got FHM for the first time. Any tips?
Jump right in. That's, I mean, so you probably don't want to get when you're just starting out. I'll show you the screen briefly. You want to go to manager options. You may want to set some of this stuff to assistant, possibly training, and I don't know, maybe. No, you probably want to do the lines yourself to begin with. But if you want to delegate a little bit, that makes it a little easier for you, setting some stuff up in there. It's probably simpler to start out as an NHL team. Some of the lower levels can have some weird little challenges to them depending on what happens, what the league's roster rules are. But I'm guessing you're probably a little more familiar with the NHL than any of the other leagues. Getting back to this, yeah, we did lose Pierre Hamel to the Whalers. Dave Hutchinson also to the Whalers. Stamler picked up again by the Whalers. And Ron Wilson to the Nordiques. Ron Ellis to the Whalers. Greg Hotham to the Oilers. Wow, we got picked between Don Ashby to the Oilers, which actually happened in the real draft. And just out of curiosity, did Gretzky wind up in Edmonton? Yes, he did. But he has nothing at all around him. Wow, that's a bad... Oh, Messier's there. Messier's there as well, so...
All right.
And we've also obviously got a few of these videos on Steam if you want to go back, or on YouTube if you want to have a look at that and follow along and just see the way we set up teams. Okay, we got pretty much strip mined out of our prospects here. Our minor leaguers. They didn't take Gary Monahan. We've been trying to get rid of. But okay, we got our big signing, Goulet. That's good. And the entry draft is going to be coming up too. Almost up at the hour here, so I think we'll kick that off. Yeah, we'll probably do the entry draft next time, I think. And Jingrad isn't happy with what we offered. Let's bump that up to slightly higher. 15,000. Oh, it is draft day. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. We'll run through this. We were a little late starting, weren't we? Because somebody was playing Fortnite. Adam?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
I'm not the one hosting, so
we're actually picking.
Yeah, we got 10.
We're actually picking 10th overall. So
what?
Yeah, we were pretty bad in the regular season. We were only 3rd in the division.
I know. I thought we'd be picking higher than that.
Ray Bourque, 1st overall. No surprise to the Red Wings, and I will just advance this ahead. Best guy potential-wise is Pelle Lindbergh, which seems a little morbid. Looking on the ability scale, we got Laurie Boschman, who's the actual Leafs first-rounder. But there's also Brian Propp, who was a huge scorer coming out of the WHL. Although we got... we just got Goulet, so that kind of fills the prop role. There's Reggie Ruotsalainen. Oh, here we go. Here's the guy we want. Kevin Lowe is a first-rounder. Sound good to you? Not a big scorer.
Yeah, sure. Judy says, "Oh, that's why Adam's quiet." No, I just don't have a lot to say about the Leafs, and I mean, when we're at the playoff time, there's just
You
not
have a
a
lot to
huge
say
amount
about the
to do.
Leafs, but not, very little of it is kind.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, it's at a point too where there's just not a lot to know about. I mean, again, I don't like talking too much, but I said, well, I wasn't alive during this time, so most of the players I know are coming up here
Well,
soon. But
you do know our second rounder, Thomas Steen.
oh, and so, some of the guys who've connected to teams that I played. But I mean, it's a great way to learn some stuff. But I mean, I don't have a huge amounts I can add differently than what Jeff's talked about too. So
yeah. Okay. And after 2 rounds, we're really running kind of low here. I'm just going to take Marco Barron as a eventual replacement in the 3rd round for Rutherford as the backup. He had a little bit of a career with the Bruins and Oilers. The other guys, you can see the AIs leaving him alone are the Czechs and the Russians who aren't going to come over. Ray Allison, who's a prop swinger in Brandon, had a couple of decent years in the league, so I'll take him as the 4th pick. And we're really getting towards the shallow end of the pool here. Just going to sort my potential. May just take a chance on one of the Soviets or Czechs at the end of this. Just so we've got the rights. Yeah, these are pretty much all career minor leaguers we're looking at this point. Art Rutland played a couple of years for Vancouver. I think he actually can't even remember. Did he? He might have gotten into 1 game if I remember right. And no, not quite at the end of the draft. Jim Taggart. Oops, put him on the draft list. I want to actually draft him. Oh, we're done, that's why. Just trying to make a pick after the draft ended. And Jingra still insisting that he wants more money.
well, that's called free agency, by the way, Jeff.
Yeah, so I'm going to make him one more offer. So he says he's thrilled with it. And Joe Mullen signed with us. Wants number 7, not surprisingly. He can have it. Okay, I'm just annoyed with Jingra now. He's okay. He signed with Montreal eventually, but kept asking for more money. And yeah, good luck, buddy. You can get it there. And I'll quickly get our draft picks signed. And I think we will.
And you will show us what the Winnipeg Jets look like.
Oh yeah, can't stop and can't go without that. Let me just get the draft. Oops. So if I don't do these draft picks now, I'm inevitably going to forget when we come back to this. And we'll get the season started, and we're going to wonder where those guys are. Okay, that's all the draft, all these contract offers in.
Never happened.
And let's see. And then, yeah, I'm right. Jerry Cheevers didn't retire. He actually... they actually pushed Wayne Thomas in over him in Boston. So your first season Jet goalie is Jerry Cheevers,
Well, that's
who would have been retired
bad.
at this point for real. And Richard Sevigny is the backup. Had a couple of good years from Montreal. Looking for...
What'd their draft picks look like?
Yeah, I'm just looking for other familiar names here. Well, I kept Kent Nielsen. That's good news.
All right.
Walt Tkachuk, 72 Team Canada guy they got from the Rangers. Dave Lumley, who would have been an Oiler, had 1 or 2 good years. Future coach John Paddock. Future GM Darcy Regier. And other than that, a whole lot of nothing.
That's future coach of the Jets, John Paddock.
Yep.
And current coach of the Pats, I believe. Regina Pats.
Yeah, I think so. And they got Morris Lukowicz. He's not in the lineup yet. I guess I must have missed him. And just looking at the guys they haven't got signed. I should probably just look at the log, the draft log. That's easier. Okay, you wanted to see the draft picks before we go. Wow, that's ugly. You remember in the first, you recall who the first overall draft pick in real life was for them this year, right? They drafted at the end.
Yeah.
Jimmy Mann.
Yep.
In this one, they go with Walt Podubny, who is considerably more skilled than Jimmy Mann, but actually, I think Mann probably wound up playing more career games. They did get Mike Krushelnyski in the second round.
The Crusher.
But other than that, Mark Renaud, who played about half a season for the Whalers, and then it's just future minor leaguers after that. Canucks had an interesting draft. Paul Reinhart, Dwayne Sutter, Kelly Kissio, Rick Walmsley. So setting the stage for the future Canucks dynasty in this game, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yep. That might happen.
Can't be much worse than they were last year. Quick look at them and we'll... Yeah, wow, they're a little better. And Hanlon's coming along in goal, so I don't think it'll be quite as bad this year. But I guess we will wind it up there. Important news to pass on before we go, though. The game, if you haven't picked it up yet, is we've got our playoff special on Steam. So the game is now, what is it, $9.99 American, if I remember right?
$9.99 USD.
$9.99 US dollars for the duration of the Cup Finals, and I think it may go depending on how long the series goes. It looks like I wasn't even watching the score.
June 10th.
The Caps won 3-2 final score. So maybe we're going to get 7 games out of this one. I hope. Just hoping for a decent series at this point. Okay.
I don't think hockey's even on anymore, to be honest.
If it's not the Jets, doesn't matter.
Pretty much, yep.
Okay. Well, I will let you wind this up then.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager 4 stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. On our Twitter, you can also find a link to our official Discord as well in our Twitter profile. As Jeff said, Franchise Hockey Manager is on sale on Steam for $9.99, as well as on our official site, which is ootpdevelopments.com. If you go there, you can also find our community forums, which if you hit in the top right-hand corner that says community, it'll bring you to there. We can discuss Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, MLB Manager, or anything else you desire. Jeff, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you missed anything, and I'm just advancing this a little bit to get all those contracts out of the way, and we will be ready to come back to this, and I'll probably run it forward to the after the end of the preseason, and we'll start this one in a couple of weeks back in the beginning of 1979 when things started to go horribly wrong for the Leafs, but we're going to avoid that, right? Right?
Sure. Maybe.
Let's hope. Okay, thanks everybody for coming out, and we will see you all next week with back to our Florida Panthers game where we may finally win something. We hope.